Sup guys, it's boy Justin with another cartoon review. It's been a while. I finally watched. Actually, it's been a while since I finished watching this, but it's like I've been busy playing video. Okay, so today I'm reviewing the classic DC cartoon Superman the Animated Series, which had 3 seasons back in 1996, which is Tim's. What was it? Bruce Timm and I don't know if Paul Dini worked on this show. It's mostly, I think it was mostly Bruce Timm, right? It has this famous art style in it. So I've watched Volume One, which comes with 18 episodes on the DVD. I paid like I can't remember how much I paid for it. I think I paid like $12 for it at a CD slash DVD store. Yeah, it comes with 18 episodes, and one of the discs is double-sided, so you have to watch the rest of the episode. You have to flip it. Oh my god, man. Yeah, so I was surprised that the show, because I was never a huge fan of this show back in the day when I was a kid. My favorite cartoons around this period was Batman, Spider-Man, and X-Men. Like Superman, like the Superman show, I wasn't a huge fan of it. I think it's because like Superman is one of those characters where he's overpowered and doesn't have faults, which that's kind of like the whole appeal to Superman is that like his fault like his faults is not, it's not like he doesn't have faults, is that he's constantly struggling with the not letting his power go to his head and corrupting him, like a lot of characters in the show, right? I gotta stop saying that, like, because there's lots of examples of characters that were good but let their power and influence corrupt them. That's a lot of Superman's villains are. Kind of like how Batman's villains all have like traumatic, traumatic mental issues, or Spider-Man's villains are all animal themed. A lot of Superman's like villains themes are like, oh, they let power corrupt him. Like Lex Luthor, Brainiac, Livewire, Parasite. Not Metal. Metal was always kind of a jerk. But yeah, a lot of the villains are like that. So the show actually starts off with the last day and night of Krypton, where you get introduced to Jor-El, who's this bronze savage Indiana Jones type scientist, right? Who is convinced that the planet of Krypton is dying, and that the council needs to fucking get off their ass and do something, but they don't do nothing because Brainiac keeps telling them, no, this is bullshit, right? Only for Jor-El to find out that, oh yeah, Brainiac has been fucking lying, because Brainiac the entire time has been downloading all of his memory banks into a ship so he can get the fuck out of Dodge. Right. So like in a last ditch effort to save what he could, he puts his baby on a rocket and sends it to Earth, right? He was initially planning on saving everybody by putting them in the Phantom Zone and launching the rocket to Earth, but because everybody didn't want to spend time in the fucking Phantom Zone, which we never really see how fucking, I mean, you do in the show see it, but it's like, well, okay, what makes it terrible? This looks like you're just floating in space, right? Oh my god. But yeah, so yeah, the show ends with like everybody on a planet dying, which you get to know them first. Some of the characters, like some of the people on Krypton. So it's like, oh, they very dark. The show starts off very dark for a fucking kids show. And then it's after that where we get introduced to like a teenage. Obviously we see the iconic scene of the Kents finding the baby. You see Lana Lane from Smallville, was like, holy shit. I always thought that character was made up for the Smallville show, right? But no, she is in the show, right? In the cartoon, she's probably a character from the cartoon or whatever, the book comics. Yeah, in the first episode, I think it's the second episode, where you basically see Superman kind of grow up, discovering his powers when he's a teenager. He didn't have them when he was a little kid, which makes more sense, honestly. Right. Though it then makes you wonder, okay, how come, like, other Kryptonians, they show up on Earth and then within hours they get their powers, right? But whatever. That's nitpicking, I guess. So yeah, the first episode with Superman, he goes to Smallville. He becomes a reporter at the Daily Planet, and he has to fight John Corbin, who eventually becomes Metallo, who's like a mercenary, who's doing like heists for Lex Luthor, so he can basically sell off his mech in the black market, so he can make more money, right? Which he was supposed to sell to the military. It's been a couple weeks since I've seen the show. Oh my god. Right, I'm sorry. But yeah, like the first major villain, who's like the only ongoing villain, is Lex Luthor, who Superman can't do anything about because he can't prove, because Superman, even though he's a vigilante, tries to work on the side of the law. Even though Lex Luthor is a motherfucker who almost betrays the fucking planet, right? With Brainiac, when Brainiac eventually shows up, right? Oh my god! But but Lex Luthor had a backup plan. He was going to nuke the fucking Brainiac ship, only for the Brainiac to hack the fucking nukes or whatever. I also apologize for being out of breath or whatever, low on breath. I just finished working out. Oh my god. Yeah, I have to work out every day. It's part of my weight loss program. I have to work out at least 2 hours a day, while also walking my dog 2 hours a day, which is why I don't have a lot of time. Sorry, not a lot of free time. Sorry to bitch. I'm not trying to bitch. I'm just explaining why I haven't been uploading videos. Okay. So yeah, that was good. Like they introduced the backstory first before we got to see Superman and his day-to-day, operations of saving people from villains, disasters, and whatnot, and his relationship with Lois, and the character the sailor character, who's obviously inspired by Popeye, who's like a ongoing side character in the show, who probably should have more screen time. I think there's some episodes where he gets more screen time than Jimmy, Jimmy Olsen or whatever. I could be. I'm bullshitting. But yeah, the show is definitely fun, and lots of Superman villains in the Volume 1. You have Brainiac, obviously, Lex Luthor, though Darkseid, they put him on the cover. Darkseid is not in Volume 1, so I don't know why the fuck they put him on the cover. You have Parasite, Metallo, right? Livewire, who was a shock jock. A shock jock who was constantly shitting on Superman, who tried to have a fucking some kind of concert live gig at during a storm, and gets her superpowers by being shocked by being struck by lightning, and it's apparently Superman's fault, even though the dumb The dumb person was warned multiple times by the police, by her fucking agent, by Superman himself. Hey, like, this is fucking dangerous as fuck. Oh my god. There was also some cool episodes in space, and there was also an episode where you had some crossover episodes where Superman, who first fought Lobo in a two-parter, eventually they joined sides in the second episode when they're both captured by the Collector, or whatever the fuck his name is. He's basically a DC version of the Collector, and that's where you see where Superman gets his menagerie of space alien animals that he keeps in the the Fortress of what the fuck is it called? The Fortress of Solitude, right? And there's a lot of episodes where Superman is hanging out with the Stars Labs people, the Stars Lab, right, where they're studying his alien tech, which they retrofitted his rocket that was his rocket to turn into a spaceship. Because apparently in the cartoon, Superman needs a spacesuit to go into space. Which I think there are comics where he doesn't, but whatever. It's not a big deal. Right? Which I forgot to mention. There's also a crossover. The last episode on Volume 1 is Speed Demons, where you have a team up with the Flash, where they both take on Weather Wizard, who's voiced by Miguel Ferreira, or Ferreira. I think it's pronounced Ferreira. It's spelled Ferreira, but I think it's supposed to be pronounced Ferreira. And he you might know is Albert from Twin Peaks, and he was also in one of the best straight to video Stephen King movies, The Night Flyer. Which that's a fucking awesome movie if you've never seen The Night Flyer. He was awesome, and he was also in RoboCop and Stephen King's Stand, right? Yeah, which there are celebrity voices in this cartoon. Let's look at the cast. It's you have Tim Daley as Superman, David Kaufman as Jimmy Olsen, Dana Delany as Lois Lane, Clancy Brown as Lex Luthor, Corey Burnham as Brainiac. Okay, I don't know who that is. Malcolm McDowell was Metallo. I thought that was fucking David Warner. But not that. Oh my god, I had no idea. Brett Garrett as Lobo. He's Raymond's. He's Raymond's brother, and everybody loves Raymond. Ted Levine as Sinestro. I didn't get that far. Charles Napier as General Hardcastle. I think I've seen him. Michael Dorn as Steel. We haven't got that far. Apparently Supergirl's in the show. Saturn Girl, Jor-El. Christopher McDowell is Jor-El. Okay. You would probably recognize him if you saw him. Oh, David Warner is in the show. Okay. Yes, a lot of Aquaman is in the show at some point. Holy fuck! And lots of Legion of Superhero people. So yeah, I'm looking forward to continue watching this show. I only have Volume 2 at the moment, but like my rating for the show is fun. There's good animation, which if you look at the credits, you see a lot of Japanese. They basically got animators to fucking animate the show. Though there wasn't Japanese animators directing every episode, there was occasionally you would see Japanese animators. Right, the animation was good. The action was good. The art style is a bit simplistic, but you know it's a cartoon, right? They have to make it a little bit simplistic, or it's a bitch to animate. Why do you think they changed the art style in the later seasons of the X-Men cartoons? Right. Oh my god. Some problems with the show that I have is Superman sometimes makes really dumb decisions, like when he let out the Kryptonian like Kryptonian convicts out of the Phantom Zone, right? And it's like, okay, why didn't you just tell them, okay, I'll let you out on the condition you leave the fucking planet and never come back? They probably would have taken his offer, especially since they didn't know at the time that all Earth's yellow sun gives them superpowers. But no, he lets them stay on the planet. And though I kind of felt bad for that character, because like she's she's the only other female Kryptonian that they know of, and like Superman, like, you know, spurns her. Like, you're the last two people of your species. So it's like, okay, I kind of understand why she would do what she did, because, you know, Superman basically like turned her down, even though, like, yeah, you're the only other, like, female of your species, man. Oh my god. Oh, but yeah, great show. It is dated. It is very dated in some spots, but, you know, it's great show, and you know, it's great, but it has its problems. So I'm only giving it a 7 out of 10. But if you can get past the datedness of the show, it's a fun show and it's worth a watch. All right, guys, peace.